It's like AI in so many ways, or well, it's like let's first define what we mean by AI. It's like it's like because AI has been around in different kinds of forms in so many ways for a very, very long time. So it's not really that new in many ways. I think what we often mean when we say AI is in particular natural language processing, the capability to do this at scale, both the written as well as spoken. I think what we mean frequently is generative AI that can create content, whether it's text or even images, videos, sounds. It's like I think that kind of capability has been around also for quite a while, but it now has really been becoming very accessible for everyone, right? It's like, and I think that's a big difference that we've seen in terms of the AI revolution, or whatever you want to call it in these days. So it's like, if I look at those kind of like changes that have been happening there over the last few years, it's becoming really a new tool for both adversaries as well as defenders, right? We've already seen like the use of generative AI to fake videos, to fake the voice of people. It's like sometimes even in real time. So it's like I'm speaking to you with a completely different voice, completely different video. And the hardware is now in people's hands to do this literally in real time. That changes obviously social engineering in very significant ways. In a similar way, it's like if you think about it, agentic AI, which is agentic AI, can quickly go out and farm social media and other kind of like sources on the internet in order to optimize for spear phishing at scale. It's like, and again, it's like all of this was available before. Some of the changes that we're seeing today are really that suddenly things start to happen at a much bigger scale, much larger and faster than this was possible before. There's also generative AI systems like Worm GPT, et cetera, that are capable of generating malware similar to how you would interact with a chat GPT or other kind of AI system. So those unrestricted generative AI systems are definitely capable of putting malware into the hands of people that would not have been able to create that kind of malware before. So in many ways, more scalability, more capabilities of doing things that used to be in the realm of nation-state adversaries in the past, now basically for everyone. And that on the other side is like requires a lot of thoughtfulness on the defender side as well. And on the defender side, it's like we've been using AI now in massive ways as well, whether it's around detection logic on endpoints or in our alerting and monitoring systems. So there's a lot of machine learning and AI in there. So at Acronis, it's like we've been recently extending our XDR solution to include also the capability to query into the system using natural language and then automatically generate reports for customers through a Gen AI kind of capability. So instead of writing for hours, it's like this streamlines things quite a bit. Of course. Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's like you've had all kinds of attacks against the DNS resolution infrastructure, and if that's possible through cache poisoning or other stuff, which we've seen in the past, and more modern things derived from that, then absolutely, it's like you can essentially, it's like pose as a legitimate AI system, and then start to lure people into it. Obviously, this would be a whole campaign, so you'd need to have to set up the right infrastructure. If you use typo squatted URLs, you'd have to make sure that you can defend them long enough, and then perhaps use some flux or double flux technologies in order to hop around so that people don't catch you. There's a bunch of different ways. Acronis, we work closely with MSPs, some managed service providers, and they're the ones who are really, in many cases, not all of them, of course, but it's like in many cases, using our technologies in order to secure the environment of the end customers. And this can be small and medium businesses, large businesses, you just name it. What we're doing there is like we're offering different kinds of security technologies. So it's like whether it's an endpoint protection, we have our well-renowned Acronis backup capabilities that can protect against ransomware and some other kind of like things. And we have email security in place, and some other technologies like configuration management capabilities that we're allowed to keep things safe, right? But it's like that obviously does not necessarily protect you against social engineering attacks, which are actually based on our threat reports on the rise. So what becomes really important there is also to include security awareness training, and it's like include training in general for the employees of companies in order to make sure that they realize or can recognize social engineering attacks, whether they be phishing or otherwise, through smishing, so as the text SMS or WhatsApp or what have you, in a meaningful time. Opportunities abound, as always, of course. No, I think the market's in general not bad at all. It's like we've seen the amount of chaos that a well-orchestrated attack can cause. It's like, just thinking back, for example, at SolarWinds. It's like from a supply chain attack, it's like it was very intense, and it's like obviously that requires a lot of response. So there's plenty of opportunities left and right, I would say. It's like I haven't heard from anyone that they have enough staffing available. It's usually relatively easy to find a job in security, whether it's on the compliance side or application security side, detection and response side, incident response, etc. So there's also the other things, like there's a lot of different specializations within security that are really available and that are needed across the board. What I usually find very hard to hire for is application and product security or full stack security engineers, because you frequently need, on the one side, the technical skills of someone who writes code, who creates systems and services, but looks at this through the lens of the adversary. So it's like really has that red teaming mindset almost in mind, in order to be able to look at that. And those kind of like talent, those kind of like engineers are somewhat rarer than others. So I think that's definitely a field if any one of your listeners wants to focus on, I would recommend looking into that. It really depends, to be honest with you, on the kind of specialization that you want to go into. So, for example, if you're looking into doing risk management, compliance, audits, those kind of like areas, it's like you need to have a high degree of the ability to go into details, to look at controls, to manage large amounts of data that you need to collect, find information in there. So it's skills that are typical for like a financial auditor or forensic auditor, for example. And that would be an excellent starting point to transition then into cybersecurity careers, like into this. So that's one skill set. It's like I already said, it's like from application security engineer or product security engineer, you need to know how to build systems and then break them afterwards. Basically, that's what it comes down to, right? Detection and response engineers and analysts is like really need to be able to manage complex alerting system, complex environments that can fire all kinds of events at all kinds of times, and then differentiate between the false alerts and true attacks, and then have the tenacity to really dive into the data that gets presented to them and figure out where things came from. So I think there's like, depending on what you do in security, there are different types of foci and skills that you really need to develop. If you're doing a leadership role there, it's like you need a lot of patience and empathy and the ability not to panic too quickly. Patience, a huge degree of empathy. You need to really also think about how you communicate, because many times it's like the ability to communicate either with the right level of urgency or the right level of concern without panicking, on the other hand, is critically important to guide you through an incident. And you also have, it's like outside of incidents, you have the need to communicate correctly. There's many times where security needs to make changes to the operational environment, and it's not always the fun changes that make life so much easier and better for people, but it's like they can sometimes make life a little bit harder. It's like when we introduced multi-factor authentication, it was obviously not easier afterwards. It was somewhat harder. So the ability to communicate those in a thoughtful manner, it's like it's like empathetic manner as well. It's like, hey guys, it's like we understand that this is not really great, but there's a good reason for this, and really become a teacher and educator is pretty important, I would say. See, that's a seriously interesting question, and it's difficult to answer. It's like what I need most is the skill, and the ability to learn, I would say. And I think both certifications as well as degrees can document that ability and the willingness to learn. It's not necessarily the kind of content that is that you do learn there. thinking back, it's like I was advising some security programs a few years back at universities. They were doing Java 101 classes in some of the graduate courses, and I'm looking at this going like, guys, this is pointless. It's like, I mean, this may be a good niche class for certain types of things that you want to do, but at the same time, it's like, this is not necessarily the very heart of what you need to worry about. But I think what it does, both certificates as well as degrees, they do demonstrate that people can sit down for an extended period of time, look at complex problems, try to solve them, and then apply this in meaningful ways for their careers. So I wouldn't want to put an emphasis on the one or the other. I would say as long as these somewhat theoretical exercises are accompanied with plenty of hands-on experience, they can both be extremely useful. They can provide the necessary foundations for someone to really build that operational experience, which is ultimately what they're going to be needing in their job. And it's like, that is something that I would really emphasize to anyone going into security. It's like, please do not go to like a 2-week certification mill. It's like, do the cramming there and then come out as like, I got my CISSP or whatever certificate, security A+, or what have you. This is not how you get good at things. It's like, you get good at things with playing around with technology. It's like trying to break it, trying to do stuff, and then afterwards taking a certification, for example, basically without preparing for it, just because you know the stuff already. And it's similar with the degree programs. It's like, if you only focus on passing the tests and not really applying this in like a home lab, it's like, then it's a lost cause, to be quite frank. It's like, I'm sometimes more interested, it's like how somebody's home lab or AWS setup looks like versus like what kind of class they took last in their degree program. So the practical application is really, really important to really complement the theoretical learning as well. So internships are awesome. I would recommend everyone to try to go after those, but I also recognize that not everyone does get those kind of internships. It's like it's not like there's an infinite amount of internships available. What I would say is, like, if you can't get into an organization to do this, it's like, set things up for yourself. It's like, literally go out there. There's tons of labs that can be sometimes downloaded, or many times downloaded for free. It's like, you can set things up for yourself, try to solve some problems for yourself, create an environment, and then attack it afterwards. This is really, it's like, by playing around with the technology and by learning how it actually works, you really gain a lot of information in terms of like how a adversarial actor would go about this as well. And this can include learning some offensive technique. At the same time, like, I would also warn people, it's like, offensive techniques is not everything. It's like, if you're the perfect hacker, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're really good at security. It is really that rounding out. It's like looking at multiple different things, build systems, tear them down, and then try to understand and analyze what went wrong and why, and how you can improve on that. I think that's really the important piece, and that's many times in today's world. It's like, it's the stuff that you can do with almost no cost, or very, very little cost, by yourselves, if you're sufficiently motivated. Yeah, I think having a portfolio there is like would definitely be fun. It's like, sometimes participating in competitions. It's like a lot of the, especially some of the smaller kind of conferences, more regional ones, they frequently have capture the flag exercises and stuff like that. Demonstrating that you can do some of those things is definitely shows effort, it shows interest. And would definitely go a long way in terms of convincing me. It's like, hey, there's somebody who's actually interested in this and wants to learn more about things. So it's like, it's not one simple kind of like way. It's like, it's not just like, I pass my exam and I get my cert, and then life is good. It's like, show that you're really wanting and interested to thinking out of the box. And quite frankly, I mean, I never had a formal computer science education whatsoever. It's like, I did physics, and it's like that generally nothing to do with computers specifically, since it was theoretical physics. So the only thing I needed was a piece of paper and a pencil. But at the same time, it's like, I did a lot of things on the side on my own, and I think that is really something that you can use to demonstrate, especially once you start to get into the interviews and you can talk about those things. It's like, think about this up front. What are you proud of in terms of like what you've done? It's like, whether it's being effective at a particular capture the flag or some other exercise, or participating in a class project. that really built some technology or defended some technology, etc., etc. So I think all those things are relevant. It's similar to what someone who has started out in a security program or in a computer science program would have to do as well. It's like really get read up on things. It's like stay current with what's going on. I mean, there's tons of resources on all kinds of social media and blogs, it's like podcasts, what have you. Definitely stay on top of those kind of things. Experiment yourself. Get your hands dirty in learning what is going on, and drive it from there. It's like I said, it's like one of the big values that I see in a degree in general is demonstrating the willingness and ability to learn, capability to learn, and it's like stay focused on a program for a couple of years. And that you can demonstrate that with a cybersecurity degree, but you can also demonstrate this with many other degrees as well. So it's like that is really not that super important to me, to be honest with you. What is more interesting, like I said, is like, how does your home lab look like? It's like, what have you played around with on public cloud? Have you created any kind of applications that could be kind of fun? Have you been in local meetups or workshops or stuff like that, of groups that are focused on security, and talk to other people there as well? I think that's really important.